Hi, welcome to the Python programming session 3. In this session, we are going to discuss about command lines, something like document strings, and we also start with the language of Python, that is Python tokens. We discuss about keywords, delimiters, identifiers, and naming conventions of identifiers. When we say comments, command lines are not executed by the compiler. When we say comments are used for documentation purpose and it is not executed by the compiler. It is just going to add some clarity or some explanation about the code. In Python, we are going to use hash symbol as a command line. If a line starts with the hash, then it is considered as a single line command. So the Python interpreter will ignore this particular line if it starts with hash. If you want to add a multi-line command, it should be given within double quotes, a sequence of 3 double quotes. Consider this particular example. Here we have used both single line command and multi-line commands. If a line starts with the hash, we say it is a single line command. If you are enclosing a text inside triple double quotes, that is 3 double quotes starting and ending, we call this one as a multi-line command. It is similar to your double slash in C++, Java, slash asterisk and asterisk slash, that is multi-line command in Java and C++. The same thing here, we are going to replace it by a hash and slash asterisk asterisk slash by 3 times double quotes. So the output of this particular code will be like this. The interpreter will ignore the commands starting with hash or with 3 times double quotes and it will execute only the required part of the code. In Python, there is a special category of commands, or we can say it is an enhanced version of the command. We call it as doc strings. Doc strings are used to describe some non-obvious portion of the code, or I can say it is going to give some details about a particular code what we have generated. It starts with the capital letter and it should end with the period, and it also describes the metadata of the object. Here the doc strings are used to associate the documentation with the objects. So if you are creating any object, methods or function, we can use these doc strings. These commands can be printed. It is not only used for increasing the understandability or readability of the code, but these commands, doc strings, can also be printed. So consider this example. Here I am just defining a function. Though we have not seen how to define a function, you just have an idea. This is the beginning of the function and this is the end of a function. So inside this I am going to give a particular multi-line command, but if you note down, this particular multi-line command starts with the uppercase and it ends with the dot. Now when I just execute this code, here I am just printing print decrement dot, decrement is the name of the function, underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. It means it is going to print the document string. So it will print, this is the document string of this function. It describes what the function does, what are its calling conventions and what are its side effects. The same thing, whatever we have given here can be printed on the output window by using this underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. So this I call it as the document string. Time to increase the readability and understandability of a code, we can use this document string. As I said, it is an enhanced version of the command line. What is the difference between this comments and document string? When you say commands, it is used to increase the understandability. Document strings are used to associate the documentation with the objects. Commands not associated with any object or method. It is a general statement or a general explanation. It is not going to have anything related to a function or a method. But if you see document string, it is associated with some objects like class, method or a function. And this commands cannot be accessed while execution of the program, but the document strings can be accessed directly by using this double underscore doc double underscore attribute. So there is no particular rules for writing commands, whereas document strings should start with an uppercase character and it should ends with a dot. So this is the difference between commands and document strings. Now, let us get into the Python language. Python language is made up of a set of tokens. So, this Python tokens are the sequence of lexical components and we call them as tokens. Python tokens can be an identifier, keyword, an operator, delimiter or an literal. Let us discuss all these tokens one by one. Consider this particular program where we are going to find the maximum of two numbers. Here I am just having two variables x comma y and I am just checking using an if statement. If x is greater than y, max is equal to x, otherwise max is equal to y. Now this x and y, I call it as an identifiers. Identifiers are variables, user defined variables, and you can give any names. And this 10, 20, I call it as a literal. What is a literal? Literals are some raw data. So this 10, 20, the values cannot be changed. This we call it as literals. And this colon, we call it as a delimiter because it is going to say what is next, a semicolon or whatever we use in our coding, we call it as a delimiter. And x greater than y, this greater than I call it as an operator. So we have lot of operators, arithmetic operators, plus, minus, slash, asterisk, like that. Here it is a relational operator or a comparison operator. So this is an operator. The last one is keywords. So whatever is given in this orange color, so that we call it as keywords. So here if, else we call them as keywords. So these things we call it as the tokens of a Python language or any language. We call them as the building blocks of a language. We call them as tokens. First, let us start with the keywords. Keywords are special words which has some predefined meaning. So predefined meaning means we have some particular, we have to use those keywords only for a particular purpose. You cannot use it as a variable. So these words have a specific meaning and it cannot be used for any other purpose. So these are the set of keywords available in Python. So almost similar to our C, C++ and Java. From, del, add, break, like that we have a set of keywords. The next token is delimiters. Delimiters are used to separate the different tokens. So Python uses some symbols and combinations of symbols as delimiters. So these are the delimiters. So like opening and closing parentheses, square braces, opening and closing square braces, curly braces, comma, colon, dot, single quotes, equal to, etc. All these things. Here I am using a combination of special characters. All these things we can call it as delimiters. The next comes the identifiers. What do you mean by an identifier? Identifier is a name used to identify a variable, function, class or an object. Now, these identifiers follow some naming conventions. Here, the identifier must start with either uppercase A to Z or lowercase a to Z or an underscore. So this you have to remember. Usually in other languages, the identifiers must start either with the any one of the alphabet, uppercase or lowercase, but here it allows underscore. The identifiers may also contain some digits, but it should not be the first character. So these are case sensitive. Our identifiers are case sensitive. So for example, if you just declare a variable A and capital A, both are different, both are valid, and it is considered as two different identifiers. So it is case sensitive. Identifiers must not be a Python keyword. We saw a set of keywords, no? So those keywords should not be used as a variable name or as an identifier. And Python don't allow any punctuation character such as percentage, dollar, at, etc. as a part of an identifier except underscore. Let us see some valid and invalid identifier. Some. It is a valid. It starts with uppercase yes. Underscore. Underscore is allowed. Any Python identifier can start with an underscore. So it is valid. Sum 1, 2, 3. Yes, after an alphabet we have some digits, so it is also valid. If you consider this example, 1, 2 sum. Here this first character is 1, that is an integer or is a digit. Every identifier must start with an alphabet or an underscore, so this is not valid. This is sum $12. Dollar symbol is not allowed, so it is not valid. Sum of digits, space, sum space of space digits. Here also it is not valid. So you can just have an idea of what is an identifier. What are the rules to create an identifier? Next comes the literals. What do you mean by literal? Literal is a raw data given in a variable or constant. Raw data means it cannot be processed. So these literals can be classified into numeric literals, string literals and boolean literals in Python. Numeric literals numeric means numbers or digits. So it consists of digits and or immutable. Immutable means unchangeable. So these numeric literals is once again classified into integer, and under integer we have binary, octal, decimal and hexadecimal. Under numeric we have float and complex, and here these are the example for integer literals. Decimals means it may have digits 0 to 9 with some sign plus or minus. Binary means you can mention it with some 0b. It says that it is a binary. It can be either 0 small uppercase or lowercase b. So here this is an example. 0b101 means it becomes a binary literal. Octal. Octal start with O. 0 O. 0 O means octal. It means this is uppercase O or lowercase o. It is used to define octal number. Hexadecimal number starts with OX. Uppercase or lowercase x can be used, and it can have digits from 0 to 9 and the alphabets from A to F. So this is how your integer literal can be used. You can assign the value of A is equal to 0b101. But when you print, it will not print the binary value. It will print the integer value of that particular binary number. Here this is an example for an hexadecimal number. So A23, the equivalent of A23 is 2595 integer. This is a 00367. It's an octal number, and when you print it will be giving 247. It is the equivalent integer of that particular octal number. So like this you can use integer literals in your coding. Float. Floating point numbers means the numbers with decimal point. For example, 789.45. There is a decimal point. This is a valid float. If the number is very large, it can be represented using scientific notation. This is 4.6 E7. Like this you can represent. One more beautiful thing about our Python is it supports complex numbers. Complex numbers have this particular format, a plus b j, where a is the real part and b is the imaginary part. If you just say 7 plus 9j, it will be printed as it is. String literals can be represented in Python either by using single quotes, double quotes or triple quotes. Depends upon the requirement. We will discuss about strings in detail in unit 2. Character literal is a single character surrounded by a single quotes or a double quotes. You can use either single quotes or double quotes to represent the particular character. Now the triple quote is used to give multi-line string literal. The next one is Boolean literal. Boolean means true or false. It can take only two values, either true or false. For example, bool 1 is equal to true, bool 2 is equal to false. You cannot assign any other value. And there is a special kind of literals, we call it as escape sequences, which we have studied already in our C, C++ and Java. These escape sequences starts with the backslash and we call them as escape character. This is used in representing certain whitespace characters like \t for tab, \n for new line, \r for carriage return, etc. These are the examples. So whenever you want to print a backslash will have a particular meaning. Say \t means tab. But you want to change the meaning of that particular backslash and you want it to be printed as it is, means you can use double backslash, means it will be printed. Here also single quotes we are using. You want to print the single quotes, doesn't means here I can change it by using backslash single quotes, means it will be printed as it is. The same way you can use double quotes, new line, \n and \t. You can refer this book and these websites for further reading. Have a nice day.